So they're actually doing all right despite their subpar quarterback.
Right, correct. And I don't know if they have the
subpar
ability to
quarterback
win.
actually that subpar?
He used to be the starter a long time ago, and then he left for another team and came back as their backup. But still, I mean, nobody expected him to be able to do that, to win a championship game before the Super Bowl, and he did.
Strangest things could happen, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, the Super Bowls have been won with bad quarterbacks. Usually what happens is the defense is like number one, not just like that year number one for the NFL, but number one in the next 10 years or something, or 20 years. That's usually how the teams with really bad quarterbacks win. And I mean, the Eagles do have a really good defense, but I don't know if it's like a generational, once in every 10-year defense.
Well, they do say defense wins championships, so we'll see.
Engage Super Cruise.
Preparing for Super Cruise.
Now, for my team, we gotta wait another 50 years.
4,
Probably 100.
All right.
2, 1.
What's your team? Is it NFL?
Seahawks.
What's wrong with Seahawks other than they're falling apart at the seams right now?
Like I said, another 50 years or so.
I know they're gonna
I don't want to hear it, his Bills.
they're gonna implode the defense on the Seahawks. I know that. They're gonna start trading and cutting a lot of people.
Crazy. What part of Washington you from?
Well, originally, I'm from the Seattle area. I'm just in the eastern Washington right now.
I was born and raised in the Yakima Valley.
Ah, that's where I'm at right now.
Wait, Washington has an east?
Well,
It's a state. I mean,
Yeah,
it
Washington.
has two
there's
different
two
areas.
different
yeah,
climates here.
There's a mountain range in between there, the Cascade Mountains.
Dude, Eastern Washington is beautiful. Like, if I moved out west, I would definitely move to Washington or Oregon.
Like Spokane or something would be good.
Yeah, I'm living in.
I forgot what the name. It was a city or town.
Wachita, Washita, something
Wenatchee?
I forget, but
Oh, Walla Walla?
There's
Wenatchee might be
There's
it. I think
Wenatchee.
it's Wenatchee.
Wenatchee's right on the
I think-
Columbia.
Yeah, because we ran. I think we ran a. Well, I was out there for training for work, and we had. I was jump seating on one of the planes, and they ran a load of hops out there, and a flight never smelled so good as that one. It was so cool.
Hops. Oh, beer hops.
Yeah, beer hops. Yeah, it was really nice.
I wish I knew what it smells like.
You can't smell? Ugh.
Sorry.
Basically, eastern Washington is where all the
Compiling data
agriculture
for
is at.
cartography.
If you're trying to go towards Seattle, that's all the industrial right there.
Yeah, you go to Central Washington and you can get out of your car and look, and you see nothing but wheat fields.
That sounds exciting.
Got wheat fields for making wheat thins.
Yeah, or Cool Whip.
Cool whip.
Did you say Cool Whip?
Yeah, cool whip.
Yeah, you've got to have cool whip when you have pie.
Warning.
Like, I say
Frameshift
something.
drive
Right over here is my
operates
Jeep.
beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
If I was still over in Bering, I'll be paying an arm and a leg, probably a lung.
Scanning now.
So, how is everyone?
Pretty good.
Alright.
I'm cool. Just flying around this nebula close to Colonia and trying to find some interesting systems to scan, but I don't know. Maybe an Earth-like planet.
I think Asticon has picked them all.
Yeah, Batman.
At the moment, I'm.
Did somebody call?
Never mind.
At the moment, I'm debating whether I want to do a slight refit of my Python to basically be an explorer for the next 2 days, or.
Warning. Frameshift drive.
You should
operating
basically refit your
beyond
Python to be an
safe
explorer for the next couple of days.
Frameshift drive
Or if I'm
supercharged.
going to help the rest of the Armada.
I thought you guys were good though. Like, everything's okay now, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
the ones
fine.
that are still coming in.
So you'd like fuel rat for someone if they needed, or what would you do? Just like go out and meet someone halfway and transfer stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that'd be cool.
Speed up their travels and at the slight cost of my travels, basically.
Four, three, two, one. Scanning for information.
Well, according to Greatest, he says no, it didn't change to next week. Just because a news outlet gets stuff wrong doesn't mean my forum post turns invalid.
Nice.
Wait, so the meetup's still on Sunday?
That's what it sounds like.
I mean, how many people are really gonna be affected by the Super Bowl? No, almost nobody in Europe watches it, so.
I mean, ideally, if you wanted to, you could just have. I don't know what time it starts, but you could just have the meetup earlier as far as.
I think it starts right at the same time, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
usually
because
it's
I always
like
thought the
2.
Super Bowl started like 8 or something.
No, they started in the afternoon. I thought, like around 2.
So I'm thinking
5-ish.
in Eastern time. So yeah, maybe like 7 or something.
Yeah, and it depends whether you watch all that pre-show junk.
Well, if it was 7 o'clock at night or something, it would be late for people to wake up early in the morning on Monday. So I'm pretty sure it's sometime in the afternoon on Sunday.
Well, no,
But later,
that's how it
12
is in East
obviously.
Coast.
Because you have to think that game could go 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I've stayed up till past midnight before on past Super Bowls when they went overtime. When I was like younger. Yeah, so for me it starts at 6:30. And that's probably pregame. That might be kickoff. I'm not sure. So kickoff's probably at 7. And then
I hate how they do that.
we
too.
could. I mean, we could have
Scanning.
the meetup before then, or we could just like have it halftime or like after?
I mean, if
don't
it
know.
started that late, 4 or 5 hours after the meetup, there's not an issue really.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking the European meetup, it'd be fine. But if we just wanted to make everyone meet up at the European time, that'd be perfect, I think. Or like even 4 or 5 o'clock, Eastern time, and that wouldn't be too early, I think, for even the West Coast U.S. people.
I see what Dove's talking about. On the EDSM site, it does say the 11th. It shows February 11th on there.
Wait, does it?
Yeah, I hadn't seen that before, but I just saw him post that, and I went to the front page where you just click on the expeditions and choose DoveEnigma, and there it is, January 12th to February 11th.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was there so that in case you were lagging behind, you could still finish it.
Ah. Well, I don't know if I want to hang around a whole nother week.
I probably won't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I could hang around a week and work on my video for it. That wouldn't be a bad thing. And I could get extra clips as people are coming in at the end.
Yeah, I can. I've got all 3 ships here, so I could do that with. I'll just leave one of my ships here.
Warning, frameshift drive operating.
And then I could get my YouTube video done.
Frameshift drive supercharged.
Yeah, because I figured if I'm going to work on that, I only got a few hours a day to work on that, so I don't do much traveling.
You know something I love about the Python?
What's
You can
that?
undersize
That's
its
awesome.
thrusters. You can undersize its thrusters, and it still has one of the best accelerations in the game.
It actually used to be a more mobile, not faster, I don't think, by much, but it used to be a much more easily yawn and pitching and roll and lateral thrusters and stuff before they nerfed it at some point.
It was rather overpowered, as I understand it.
Yeah. That would be way overpowered if you think about it, because it could do almost everything already.
Scanning for information. Fuel scooping complete.
Even now, though, she's a dream to maneuver.
Yeah, I love my Python. That's my favorite ship.
How undersized are the thrusters? Like, what's the lowest that you put on there?
14.
Damn, that's what I got. I got more than that on my Diamondback, I think. Yeah, 4 A's on my Diamondback. Holy crap. I can't believe that. That's pretty cool.
Well, yeah.
Scanning
it just
now.
goes to show how much I fitted this to do a distance, you know?
I was thinking about looking into that, like getting a Anaconda, but I don't know.
I've got a water world here that looks like it has absolutely no atmosphere whatsoever.
No storms or anything?
Nope. It's just blue.
Pretty sure it's not just a very big marble.
I'm not entirely certain, but when I hover over it, it sings at me, so I'm pretty sure it's at least a wet marble.
Scanning.
sings at you? What?
The audio
When you-
for the planet. Each planet or whatever body has a noise that it makes when you listen to
Yep.
music on your.
It
options.
has a sort of subtle choir kind of noise that's mixed in with violins, sort of.
Waterworld sounds like water. They actually have
And
like
it
a
has
watery noise.
bubbling over the top of that. But
Yeah, like a brook or a stream or something. It sounds like.
Yeah, I usually listen for the sort of choiry, violin-y sort of noise rather than the bubbling because it's easier to hear, at least for me.
And then
Well,
the
I've
metallics
learned
have like
something
a.
new today then.
Metallic has like a sort of whispery, windy, chimey kind of noise.
No, that's not metallic.
For high HMCs, I mean, not Metallic World, but HMCs.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, simply because I've never seen this before ever, I'm buying class, A class, outfitting in Colonia. This has never been a thing before for me.
Neaty.
What's that?
Yeah, they've had it. Is that what you mean? That you're surprised they have it?
I've never found them before, and when
Yeah,
I went to EDDB, they never showed up in EDDB before.
Whatever the asteroid base is, Junkyard's Toland's Junkyard, I think they had it for a while now.
I'm in the Welling station.
4, 3,
But they didn't have a whole lot. I think they just had it on a few different things, but they didn't have like A across the board for every single module. It was just some modules.
Scanning.
Well, I'm gonna go and have some lunch.
Alright.
Catch you later.
See you later.
See ya.
Well, this system was really boring. One brown dwarf and nothing else.
2,
You good?
1. Compiling data for cartography.
So have you guys played around with the engineers on beta?
I haven't even installed beta. I love beta installed either.
Yeah, I'm not doing the beta just because I don't want to spend my game time doing that. I'll just let people figure stuff out for me.
Fair enough.
Plus, it's all going to change anyway.
Yeah,
There's,
exactly.
what, a month and a half?
Yeah,
Then-
something like that. So the hype,
Right.
everyone wants to get on the hype train, and then it'll die down, and then the actual thing will come out, and then I can focus on learning that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, just like to see the change of the how they did with the pinned blueprints. Because if you pick efficient multi-cannons now, you have all from grade 1 to 5. You can do at any other station.
Yeah, see, I never used the blueprints in the old system either. I guess I didn't really understand how that works. You pin a blueprint, and it's there until you pin another one.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes
That's
more
just-
sense.
that was
So I
just
thought
to
it's
look at
Like, oh,
the
you
old
get one roll. I wasn't even sure I hadn't tried it out, and I don't know. I just
Yeah, because
pretty much shipped what I
the
needed.
Scanning.
blueprint, if you pin a blueprint at an engineer, you can then you are lacking the materials to finish out all the grade to grade 5 basically. So you pin the blueprint and you fly away from there, collect the materials, or you go to the material trade and you trade into the correct materials you want to make this blueprint. Then you go to then you'll have the pinned blueprint on the station menu. You just click it there and you can keep going on and finish the upgrades.
Right, so if I want to get all grade 5 charge enhanced power distributors for all my ships, go out and DBX, do it in that, in the blueprint, and then go find my Python and my Type 10 and all the other ones I want, and I can just move around instead of moving the ships to wherever.
I thought the blueprint was only for a module, not for whenever. Like forever.
It's for whatever class, whatever size.
Scanning for
I
information.
thought once you're done with the module, like he was saying, a power distributor, you get done with that 1 through 5, then you'd have to go and repin it. For the next ship's power
I don't think you
distributor.
You don't have to repin it.
Yeah, I think that was what my confusion was, because I thought I'd have to end up repinning it.
You do have to pin it from the next grade up, though.
Nope, you get all the grades. In the beta 1, it was for 1 grade, but people really did not like it. I didn't like it either. So they upgraded. So once you pin a blueprint, you get grade 1 to 5. You can't do the specials from other stations though. You can only do the special upgrades from the actual engineer. But you can do all the grades all the way up to 5. Like if I pin the multi-cannon, efficient multi-cannon blueprint, I can do that from for every multi-cannon I have on any ship. I can buy new multi-cannons
Gathering
and
information,
upgrade them
cartography
1 to 5,
updated.
whatever.
Yeah, because that'll be easier to get the Type 10 multi-cannons into shape and do that. I mean, they're already pretty decent, but they're not like max grade by any means.
Guys, I think I just discovered an Earth-like rings planet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Is it discovered?
Oh
no! That's a brilliant thing about it. Is this what I just going on economic jump drive, so I hardly ran out of fuel. So
eco. Okay, that makes more sense now.
Of course, I mean, yeah. I'm in the nebula. I don't know how to pronounce it. Dryoe Pro Nebula next to Colonia, and just jumping around, flying around, and scanning, and just give me a few minutes, and I'll update you whether it's either water planet or water base or that's
Scanning now.
Yeah, I've never found a ring Earth life before.
Oh, I did yesterday.
Wow.
And it was
I think I found one,
undiscovered.
but it was already discovered.
Yeah, no, it was undiscovered.
Didn't you find discovered yesterday?
Yeah, I did, but only one of them was ringed, I think. Well, maybe.
I seem to remember you boasting and me being rather envious of your find.
I found 4 of them, but I think only one was ringed.
What?
That is unfair.
Well, yeah, and then I went for the next 3 hours and found absolutely nothing.
Oh yeah, you got all of them over and done with, and then it was just desolate.
Right, hold on. Give you guys a second.
That's probably something I should do, is go pretty close to Sag A, where it's so dense like that, just do eco.
I always do that as well. Doing eco runs are in a little pattern, it's pretty nice.
I was at Waypoint 14, and I went about 15 or 20 jumps straight up.
I did a little jump like that.
Scanning now.
I think it was Waypoint 9.
It's not a bad idea.
It's a high metal content world, and it's a candidate for terraforming.
Oh.
Fuel scooping
Yeah.
complete.
Yeah, the audio
Okay.
for the
It's not
Earth-like world,
Earth-like.
the Earth-like world audio is going to be like birds chirping. I think that, to me, they sound like monkeys. Cackling or whatever, but people say birds chirping.
Crackling monkeys. It's pretty good. Anyway, here's this water world I've just found. It does have an atmosphere. It is 90% oxygen at 0.08 atmospheres pressure.
Kevin Costner's there.
Pretty good. Look at it though, it's just blue.
Let's light a match there.
Yeah.
Holy
So
fuck,
this
it
noise
feels
is
good
not-
to have a jump range.
I'm gonna go in
Scanning for
and
information.
take a couple of screenshots because that is just so ridiculously blue.
Were they gonna change those planets as well with the upgrade? I haven't really seen
Don't believe
anything.
so.
It seems like they would change in some way, but not dramatically, not that dramatically, like the other
Yeah,
things are.
because they've changed like the colors and they
Yeah.
actually changed some of the textures on some planets.
The way
But
they look
haven't
is
done
definitely
like the
different
big
enough.
upgrade yet. They haven't done like all the lighting upgrades and stuff around. That's coming later.
I would think they do look different. I don't remember it being in the beta and what the Earth-like worlds look like, but they have to change in some way at least.
It's probably gonna come in the big upgrade. Maybe it's gonna be later.
Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond.
What's your jump range, Huntress?
Frameshift drive supercharged.
39 light years, but considering the fact that I'm in a Python,
That's pretty good. I think. Well, mine's combat fit. It's only like 22, 21.
33 in my clipper.
Wait, so I thought you did the run in a Conda for some reason. You did that run in a Python.
yep.
Damn, that's impressive. Cause I'm sure with cargo you were sitting at like 20-ish, or I don't know how much it would be. I haven't really done much cargo running in a Python.
27 light year jump.
That's very good for
full cargo?
yeah.
That's nothing to complain about for a Python.
Yeah, I did my cutter with 26
Yeah, I
hours.
How I got such a good jump range is I fairly literally transplanted my Asp Explorer's frameshift
Scanning
drive
for
straight into
information.
my Python.
That'll do it.
Pretty good.
And replace everything else with like plastic. Weighs nothing.
Fuel scoop.
Yeah, after all these overheat jumps, my cockpit kind of smells like arsenic. I should probably be worried.
You know what they should have is like an engineer that does lightweight for thrusters, because thrusters are the heaviest thing outside of like armor or something.
The heaviest thing outside of armor is actually shield generators. Sorry, not shield generators. The heaviest thing outside of armor.
Sensors, isn't it?
No,
Should be thrusters.
collectors. Sorry,
Collectors.
limpet controllers in general. Actually,
How much does this weigh?
you can get if you
Scanning
go
now.
and try to engineer them, you can actually get those limpet controllers by chance to weigh equivalent to 2 size slots up. So, like for instance, a Class 7 limpet controller weighing 512 tons.
Damn, that is pretty heavy. I didn't even think about that. I don't use it very often.
Having said that, that is Class B.
I think Class A and B on the limpet controllers weigh the same.
No, Class B weighs more, just like the most of the other.
Even for the limpet controller?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I double checked.
Oh, my bad. Though it will be nice to have the master limpet controller later. Can't wait for that.
What's the difference again?
How many limpet controllers do we have now? We have the collector, we have the recon, we have the prospector, we have the hacking, the fuel, the repairs, all of them. They're gonna change that, so we
Gathering
only have
information,
one that we
cartography
can,
updated.
do all these different things with. And depending on size, we're gonna have like if you have a size 4 whatever, we might be able to have 2 functions on the limited controller. A higher size might be able to do 3 or 4 functions. So we're no longer going to be
limpets.
Huh?
It's like having a fighter bay for your limpets. If you get a fighter bay, you get the 2 capacity fighter bay, and then you can have 2 different fighters, so you can have multiple different limpets.
Yeah, because the influx of different limpet controllers now is just getting kind of silly.
Oh no, I stand corrected. This planet actually has the faintest wisp of a cloud. A solitary cloud.
So there's not much atmosphere there, so that might explain it.
Yeah. And it's a candidate for terraforming.
With an atmosphere like that, I can't see how. Because any attempt to add more atmosphere would just have the extra atmosphere wisp away.
One would assume lots of electrolysis.
It's dry enough, isn't it?
That's not what I meant. Like, it's the same reason why you can't add atmosphere to Mars.
Well,
What's the gravity?
0.6-ish, I think. Yeah, 0.63.
Scanning now.
Sphere, but
it would be like trying to breathe on the top of Mount Everest, and you know how much help humans need with that.
Fuel scooping complete.
There are people who can do it unaided.
As I said, humans tend to need help with that.
But, yeah, the important takeaway is there might not be much atmosphere, but the vast majority of it is oxygen.
Which you would actually, believe it or not, suffocate in.
4, 3.
I'm gonna need a citation for that.
No, it's not the hypoxia that you suffocate from. It's actually an interesting part about human physiology.
You're talking about like not enough carbon dioxide?
Yeah.
I forget what that's called. It's got a name, I forget what it's called.
Scanning for information.
So then you start hyperventilating because you don't... Or wait, yeah, that's how you start hyperventilating, right?
No,
that's because hyperventilating is when you have too much carbon dioxide.
Yeah, you actually simply forget to breathe.
Yeah, because you load up on too much oxygen.
And not enough carbon dioxide, and because there's no carbon dioxide in your lungs are like, well, everything's fine right now. Even though there's like no oxygen getting into your bloodstream.
I also think you get a build-up of like water or something in the lungs with too much oxygen. Like the body like floods the lungs or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, you can hyperventilate from having too little carbon dioxide though, right? Yeah, so that's once your body like start breathing, trying to breathe more.
Stand by. Gathering information. Cartography has now been updated.
And you also get high as the
I've taught it that way when I was teaching pilots and stuff. It's one of the it's in the airplane flying. Their pilot's handbook for aeronautical knowledge that's in there. It talks about that. It's like your body needs a certain amount of carbon dioxide to like I forget something in the blood to keep it like at a good chemical level or something. I forget exactly. I'm not an expert on it.
Yeah, it's basically so your body can actually tell you to breathe. Which is a scary thought when you think about it. That you actually need to be almost actively told to breathe by something. You know?
4, 3, 2.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory, really, because like we've been living on this planet for so long, and like in this kind of atmosphere, like anything else is just kind of poisonous to us. Like really need this kind of blend of
Completing system scan. Stand by.
like to actually
Gathering
really work.
information. Cartography
to be honest,
has
it's
now been
amazing
updated.
that we decided to choose the most poisonous material in the entire planet and be like, we rely on this.
Yeah.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Apparently.
At least we're not breathing ammonia.
Yeah, that's what the Thargoids do.
The ammonia is their solvent, not their the thing they breathe.
I stand corrected.
So now, what if, like, I've seen Earthlikes and stuff that have, like, argon rich? How would that would we be able to handle that?
Scanning.
Argon becomes the replacement for nitrogen in the atmosphere, basically.
Argon is basically harmless.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
that's
like
good. That's good.
functionally inert. You can force it under certain conditions to form compounds with fluorine, but that's not going to be much of a concern.
And on top of that, the only thing you'd notice as a human being is your voice is deeper for some reason.
So it's like the opposite of helium?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's,
Well, it's in the same group in the periodic table.
But it's more. Wait, I forget why helium does it, because it's not as dense, so it doesn't fluctuate your
much lighter. Yeah.
Okay, so argon's the opposite. It's more dense.
Heavy.
Yeah. When I said for some reason, I just wanted to put some reason in for
Compiling data for cartography.
comedic purposes. But yeah, that's basically the reason why.
Gotcha. That's interesting.
It's the same for sulfur hexafluoride, which
Oh,
is
God.
also inert.
Sulfur hexafluoride's brilliant. It will like lower your voice by about 3 octaves or something stupid.
Where can
Because
I get
it's
some?
so heavy.
It's so heavy that you can actually put it into a flask and expect it to stay in the flask like a liquid. Well, not a liquid. Like a fluid.
Shots.
I guess that's what Batman uses.
So
Oh, good.
you can
Scanning
actually
now.
put sulfur hexafluoride into a flask and expect it to stay in the flask. That's how dense it is.
You can float tin foil in it.
That's pretty cool.
Of course, the problem with using sulfur hexafluoride as a means of a party trick is after doing the party trick, you then have to stand on your head for several hours and burp it out.
Oh, because it like pools in the bottom of your lungs?
Yep.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
That's because it's so
Stand by.
heavy. Anyway, there's
Gathering
a
information.
video of
Cartography
said
has now been
thing
updated.
floating.
There's also a video of a person that had to burp it out for the next few hours as well. I'm not sure if that's the same video, actually.
I don't think it is.
He did. Don't get me wrong. It didn't do the whole burp out part. It was mainly about the talking with a low voice part. I mainly did put it in just to be like, this is what we have to do because he put it, he swallowed a little bit, you know.
Guys, Astrakhan, you were talking about the water world with no clouds, right? I just found one too, Argon Ridge.
This one's oxygen rich.
Argon Ridge. Yeah. 298.69, I believe. 96% nitrogen.
I think I've just found a really cool place to waterworld, to what looks like Earth likes, and one ammonia world.
Nice. In before they're all HMCs.
yeah, it's gonna have to fish me so fucking hard. I just know it. Basically.
Do you hear the monkeys cackling?
3,
That's the important part. I guess look like or birds chirping. Let's just say birds chirping, and it makes it easier for everybody because they hear that.
I hear both.
It's just the blue glow. Oh, nothing.
Gathering information.
Carbon
Cartography
water-based
updated.
life forms. Ah.
Well, all water worlds have water carbon life forms.
Yeah.
Though I do find that a little pretentious to believe that all water worlds have that, but don't get me wrong, it's an amazing thought, but to think that all of them have it, I'm
Party pooper.
Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged.
So has anyone heard anything of when the crate is actually gonna be in the game?
It's this season, that's all we know.
4, 3, 2.
Because I thought it was gonna come in alongside the chieftain.
No, it was in later stage of development than the chieftain. They said that at the expo.
Aww. But I want it.
Somebody has to
Highland
explain
data
to me
for
what the crate
cartography.
was in the original game. Was it original game or second game?
Yeah,
Whatever it was.
it was the original one, yeah.
But wasn't it a fighter, like a really small fighter?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. I'm thinking around eagle size, but I don't know if it's going to be slightly bigger than it.
Well,
Is it eagle?
from the pictures that I've seen, it's actually gonna have 3 seats. So it's not.
Yeah, this
going
one's a
to be
medium.
the
We know this one's a
original-
medium.
Yeah.
Which again, I don't know why they do that. Change things. Like the Courier was a really, really big ship in the old game. Huge ship.
The equivalent to the old Courier is the Plymouth.
4.
Actually, I would think something bigger than a cutter was in the Courier.
The
Forget
size of
my
the original
touch, yeah.
Courier was the size of the current Clipper.
But somebody told me the Super Cobra was supposed to be the Clipper.
Completing system scan. Stand by.
Supposed to be.
Gathering
like,
information. Cartography
lineage-wise,
has now been
that's
updated.
where they got it from, was the Super Cobra.
I just really like the look of the new crate, with how the like the seating positions are and stuff. Like that. Do we know who the manufacturers of the crates are? Like the new ones? Is it the Alliance or is it someone else? Because the Chieftain is the Alliance and Lacon, and wasn't the original crate the Falcon DeLacy?
Yeah, DeLacy. DeLacy is independent.
Yeah.
Though having said that, the independents do sometimes contract to a power, but that's quite rare.
Nuclear power.
Are like 35% of the ships in this game Lakon?
4, 3,
Probably more than that.
What, by number of pilots flying them, or
Just number of ships compared to the 37 or whatever we have now. I don't know how many we have. 33 or 34? Who knows?
I think Core Dynamics at least used to have the most.
Scanning for information.
Yeah, we got the Eagle, the drop ship, assault ship, gun ship, and the
Colonia? No.
The Imperial Eagle is
ladies.
Core Dynamics.
Federal Corvettes.
No, the Imperial Eagle is Gutamaya.
Really?
Gutamaya.
Yeah.
Really?
Did it actually
Oh,
change
Imperial.
hands?
Imperial, yeah. That's right.
Okay. Because I know that it's based on the Eagle itself.
It
Yeah,
is.
it's got the same, like, it is the same inside as the original one, only it's black and white. And got further wingspan.
It's a tiny bit bigger, I think, than the original.
3, 2,
A little bit bigger.
It's forgotten culture.
Oh, yeah,
You also forgot the Condor.
We're not counting SLFs, are we?
Oh, why not?
No, just ships, regular ships.
Scanning now.
Alright guys, what is the nearest source of meta-alloys to Colonia?
There's
Maya.
Pleiades.
There are nebulae with meta alloys near Colonia. I wish I could tell you which ones. It was a long time ago when I heard about it.
Alright, go find that, because I'm just gonna finish the trip to Colonia, and I'm going to get as many fucking meta-alloys as my hull can hold.
Well, it's done. They've already protected the
it's
station.
already
so
finished.
you're not going to do anything by doing that.
4, 3, 2, 1.
It could be like a symbolic gesture, though. Silence.
I'm pissed off because I just freed up my entire week so that I could run
Gathering
home
information,
and get
cartography
meta-alloys.
data.
People beat you to it. There's certain people like people here who
I sit
all the
corrected.
way back to the bubble, all the way back to Colonia.
In a day.
In one day.
In hours. In not even a day. In hours.
To the bubble you can do in
Yours?
like 3.5, 4, right?
It's the trip back that kills you.
If you're not doing neutrons, yeah, but in neutron-wise, you can do it in like, what, 4 hours?
But with
I did it-
significant cargo.
Okay.
Big
That,
ship.
no?
Using the neutron highway, I got to the bubble in half an hour. It took me the rest of the day to get back.
Wow.
Waterworld with ammonia atmosphere.
Is Spanch working again?
Spanch is
Scanning.
stopped working at some point?
It wasn't working last time I was playing.
It's working.
Right, so 2 water worlds so far in the system.
Nice.
As far as I'm aware, Spanch is the only neutron highway calculator.
Well, I'm gonna dash over to 15 and then hit Colonia tonight, because 15 is really, really close to 16.
4, 3.
Meanwhile, I'm going from 16 to 15.
I just hit this bubblegum nebula.
What is this?
It's a beautiful
bubblegum?
nebula. I recommend jumping around in it for a little while.
I'll just screenshot one of them. It's
Compiling
very
data for cartography.
It's one of the denser nebulas I've been to.
I know what I'll do. I'll work on a character sheet. Oh wow, it's letting me do a high wake from planet surface.
Yeah, you can do that.
Imagine doing that in atmosphere.
You would destroy the atmosphere.
Would you though? Because don't you like go like not? I don't know. I guess I don't really understand how it works exactly.
Well, you know how bad supersonic booms can get? You know how you have the supersonic
Compiling
and
data
the
for
hypersonic
cartography.
boom?
Imagine a superliminal bloom.
Yeah. The atmosphere, it's not the ship that would be moving the atmosphere in this case. It would be the bubble that your ship is enveloped in. Moving the atmosphere.
Gotcha.
You would fuck things up.
Actually,
but
one
I
of
thought
my
when you go into
favorite-
witch space, you're like going into like a parallel dimension.
Right. but
Well,
then
you're
it
not
would
in
be
witch
a
space
hole
when
from
you go
the
in-
real world into a parallel dimension in atmosphere. What is the pressure in that parallel dimension?
Well,
They got a lot of atmosphere.
Well, what I was going to mention though, right, is the frameshift drive that our ships are put into. When you highway, the highway works by first going into supercruise and then actually opening a bubble.
Gotcha. So you'd still be going wicked fast in atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be going like close to.
Scanning for
speed of
information.
light.
Actually, we do have a specific number. Your ship would be going 30 kilometers a second.
That's the minimum, yeah. So you at least produce a sonic boom.
At the very,
That's a
very least.
hypersonic boom.
Probably strip a fair bit of your shields, if not all of them.
You need you'd need specialized, like you'd have to have thermal resistant shields or something. I don't know.
That's another thing I don't get about atmospheric landings is none of these ships to me, well, I wouldn't say none of them, but most of these ships to me don't look like they're optimized to fly in atmosphere.
That's
just
why
all-
some of the ships are starting to have things like wings, spoilers, and things like that. It's actually about the atmospheric landing.
Type 6.
Gotcha.
I just want to land a Type 9 on a
Scanning.
planet and see what happens.
You want to
It's
trade
hilarious.
that's what you want to do.
Well, no, it's actually almost easier to land on atmosphere if you can know how to properly brake off of the atmosphere.
Fuel scooping complete.
You are still flying a massive brake.
Type 6 needs like some parachutes or something.
If you can land on a planet with the same gravity without an atmosphere, you can easily land on the planet with the same gravity with atmosphere.
Yeah, it's
Your thrusters
Yeah.
would be
actually-
more
I agree with that.
Yeah,
It's all to do with the gravity.
4, 3,
yeah.
2, 1.
If what's his name? The Eraser landed his goddamn Type 10 at the 6 or 7G world, you can land a Type 10 on Earth.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Completing system scan.
Yeah, it,
Stand
it,
by.
it,
Gathering
it reminds me
information.
of one of my favorite
Cartography has now been
quotes.
updated.
They were flying in the air, much like how bricks don't.
Fuel scooping complete.
Is that Douglas Adams?
Yes, it is. It's one of the first memorable quotes in all of his books.
Did they make I forget, I might have heard about it or not. Were they planning on making a series on the Holistic Detective Agency?
That's already a thing.
Okay, I guess I gotta find that and watch that. That might be neat. What is it on, like Netflix or something?
Yeah.
Alright, there we go. When I get somebody as a Netflix account, I'll watch that with you.
Ammonia bomb?
Scanning.
Atmosphere type, ammonia and oxygen. Well, 9.5%
Fuel
oxygen.
scooping complete.
Ooh, I hear the monkeys. Here it is.
People say they monkey around.
Well, not the band.
You gotta be
There's-
more clear than that, man.
There's actual monkeys in space apparently, because I can hear them.
How long have you been
Then
out
they
here?
are not in space
Wow.
because there are no sounds in space.
Well, okay, they're on a planet. Happens to be the same exact things that we have on our planet. No, has anybody watched Voyager? There's one episode where Janeway runs into a monkey, and I'm like, how is there a monkey on a planet that's 10,000 light years or whatever?
Convergent
20,000
evolution.
Because Star Trek.
Because convergent evolution.
How?
How
Actually,
come
no,
that
they do
every
explain
like
it.
90% of the
That's a stupid
things
answer.
in
Does
Star
anyone want
Trek
some serious
look like
spoilers
humans?
for Star Trek?
Because
ahead,
Star
do
Trek,
it.
that's the spoiler.
I have no problem.
Go on
Star
with
Trek,
it.
the human race, the Klingons, we were all, there was a species
And the Romulans,
80,000 years ago, whatever, who went and seeded the galaxy with, helix DNA'd life.
Oh, yeah,
much
the
of the
original
galaxies they could.
being... Okay.
Yeah,
And they all look like
right?
Odo, like changelings. Those band features
still,
actually featureless.
A bit like the
The
elves
evolution
and
would
the
have been
orcs.
somewhat different. They can't have the same exact things. They're still gonna have some kind of different evolution. Like, there's been
It's
cataclysmic
Star
events that almost
Trek.
wiped out entire life on our planet before, so... I know.
That's what convergent evolution. They explained it with convergent at that point. That
Catastrophic
similar
events.
themes produce similar results.
Where's the dinosaurs then?
And see, it's called
That's
Shark.
another episode of
See,
Voyager.
but the Earth's atmosphere could no longer support dinosaurs. They do have dinosaurs in Star Trek several times. You see them, but they don't.
They do?
Yeah,
I don't
there
remember
are a
an
couple ones
episode
they make,
with them.
They make
Is
CGI.
this TOS?
I've watched
TOS
all
or
of them,
STG?
so I don't remember exactly.
Now,
what
I
it
don't
was.
count Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine is a bunch of bullcrap to me, so...
I like it.
It's alright.
I actually watched the
It's a
first
different
season
flavor.
like last month.
I'll tell you what I didn't like about Deep Space Nine. That was Odo, who had this tremendous power to be anything he wanted to be, and all he did was jump into a bucket at night.
Yeah, because he was ashamed of, sort of...
That bucket was his home.
That's his problem.
Recharge.
He needed help.
Yeah, I agree.
Can't afford a real home, so he had to get a bucket.
What do you guys reckon about the new series? I can't get my head around that. I don't know.
Yeah, I watch it. I wouldn't say it was one of my favorites.
People hate the Klingons, that's all I know.
Yeah, it's not exactly right, are they?
I think they missed the point of what Star Trek was. Star Trek is supposed to be camp.
Well, and I think they tried to make it political to today's events,
Yeah.
And I didn't even want to watch it. As soon as I found out what the plot was and all that kind of stuff, the writing was just, I don't know what they were doing.
I'm probably gonna watch it just.
Scanning for information.
I hate it when I hit request docking and nothing happens.
Does delay actually comes from the server?
Yeah, it just doesn't register at all though sometimes. I've actually seen that on live stream too, the people where they clearly click it and nothing happens at all.
Yeah, it sucks. It's still a server thing.
Okay, I put an example of what I'm talking about in I fucking uploaded the BMP, hang on. That's a bad idea.
Don't worry, I'll download it anyway.
Nah, I'm gonna bring it back as a GIF. No, not a. I am really sleepy deprived. I will save this GIF and upload it again. Once I open Photoshop.
Scanning for information.
Fuel scooping complete.
There we go. There's an example of Enigma expedition.
Oh, that! I honestly don't know how I removed that.
Wait, the thing in the middle?
No, you see how like there's very obvious
Scanning
artificial
now.
looking lines to that star cluster, and I think it might be a rendering limit.
You mean the whole shape of it? Because that just happens naturally in Elite Dangerous.
Well, I mean but that's not a natural looking star.
It is for Elite Dangerous. It is. Trust me. They have clusters of B stars that just naturally do wedge, diamond shapes, triangles, stuff like that.
Yeah, and the reason why this happens is because those clusters are based on real life data rather than the in-game seed data, and
These
real life
clusters-
data.
These clusters most definitely aren't because they follow the naming convention of stars. Like, you know, the whole Eol true, the alphabet soup names. I do know that there are some stars in the game which are based on real data, and I know where they are. There's a ton of them near the Omega Nebula.
Scanning.
But they have names based on what their scientific names are. So that picture was taken way further out, and those stars are most certainly not real stars.
Oh, okay.
I'm fairly certain it's some sort of rendering, but I don't think the clusters are actually that shape, or I don't think they should be. That does not look like a natural star formation.
Well, no, because Elite Dangerous, there's a certain point where you hit where there's a lot of B stars, and the B stars are the ones that you're seeing. Those are the bright ones, and they're in a certain field
or
beyond
you could
Scout
just
A.
go
where
with this reasoning. The data is taken from Earth. Earth is a very interesting perspective, so it's not going to be always
Gathering
realistically
information,
looking. So
cartography
you're going to
updated.
get this every now and then. It's not. It's not
My connection
actually.
starts to be very bad. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Night, Alice.
Fuel scooping complete.
Yeah, good night. All I'm going to log off now too.
But yeah, I mean, I've seen tons of stuff like that in Elite Dangerous. Even if it's something that you have a certain setting where you can only see some of those B stars or whatever, it's just you can see a very clear delineation in shapes of those B stars.
And something that explains it away at least a little bit is that all this data is taken from Earth, not different points in the data. So we're just getting all of this from relatively one spot. So it's going to be difficult to put actual realism into it. That's really far away.
Like, most of the stars are formed the same way as TRAPPIST-1 in the game was formed, like mass maps of the galaxy.
Fuel scooping complete.
Because TRAPPIST-1, it was not put in by the real data of the real TRAPPIST-1. just happened to already be in the game?
Well, it was 31 light years off, but
yeah,
and
true.
it had I visited the system before they moved it, and so when they moved it, like before I jumped in and did a ping scan on it, or an ADS scan, it looked completely different. And then I did an ADS scan, and it changed because I had the previous system data for it. So that was cool.
Alright, I'm taking off. Bye.
Compiling data for cartography.
Bye.
See ya.
So it's not perfect, but you'll occasionally get those weird things.
It's mainly a case of realism is hard.
Well, also, if you take data only from, one point of view, the sample size is going to be very hard.
Those are procedurally generated stars, I've already said that.
Yes, but the procedurally generated star is based on real-world data and the Stellar Forge extrapolating that. The extrapolation is off badly, as you probably can tell.
Scanning for information.
Fuel scooping complete.
Gathering information, cartography updated.
Fuel scooping complete.
Completing system scan. Stand by. Gathering information. Cartography has now been updated.
It's like the last jump. And so, as the chat kind of dies down for today, we're coming into our last jump. I'm not quite sure what kind of station we're looking at here. I think it's a planet-side one, but I am not sure.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Scanning now.
Open system map.
System map.
All right, we have two of them. We have a small one and a large one. And I think I'm going to go... Come on. I think I'm going to go to the large one. It's big enough to have a cruise liner coming to it. I wonder if that means it's going to have passenger missions to this location. Could be. Find out when we get in. And it's not a planetary one, obviously. I just realized once I looked at the system map that it shows a station. And you can see it in the hologram there, too. Looks like an Earth-like world, doesn't it? Obviously it's got an atmosphere. Well, not in the game it doesn't, but you can see clouds and weather and stuff. Disengage.
Drives disengaging.
Alright, let me make sure I've got my
Lake Romeo, Uniform Delta. This is the Flight Operations Department. Please comply with established docking procedures, Commander.
I couldn't remember if I turned my auto dock off or not. Stop engines.
Cutting engines. Stopping here.
Request docking.
As requested.
External camera.
Change camera.
Camera 7.
Change camera.
Well, let's watch ourselves come in. Camera 4.
Change camera.
Camera 3.
Change camera.
Camera 7.
Change camera.
Camera 8.
Change camera.
Camera 7.
Change camera.
External camera.
Change camera.
And we have arrived.
Landing complete. Clear to disembark.
I want to take a quick look and see. It does have passenger lounge, so we can make passenger trips here. Alrighty, well, we're here at waypoint number 15. We have one waypoint left.